Tonight's big stories: more than 700 schools nationwide are now forced to postpone the start of classes after Super Typhoon Karina wrought havoc. An estimated 630 million pesos is needed to rebuild damaged facilities.
The siphoning of oil from the sunken tanker MT Terra Nova has begun as the Coast Guard races to avoid a major catastrophe.
And we're just a few hours away from the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games Paris 2024. We will be bringing you the latest from our athletes or on our athletes competing there later on.
Good evening, welcome to the show. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Pauline Verzosa.
And I'm Shawn Yao.
Well, over 700 schools nationwide will be postponing their class openings after the facilities were ravaged by flood from monsoon rains and Super Typhoon Karina.
And it isn't just that classrooms were damaged. Many public schools, especially in Metro Manila, are being used as evacuation centers while clearing operations are underway.
But new DepEd Secretary Sani Angara wants schools who did not sustain much damage to proceed with their school opening as scheduled. JC Cosico with the report.
Schools across the country are set to open classes next Monday, July 29. But after the recent impact from the southwest monsoon, enhanced by Super Typhoon Karina, at least 738 schools nationwide won't be able to start classes. Cleanup efforts continue in several areas, including Quezon City. In Masambong High School, classrooms are filled with mud and trash, destroying facilities and learning materials.
Ito na naman po, naulit po yung parang undoy ulit. Nangihinayang po ako sa dami ng mga gamit namin na sana mapapakinabangan pa. Katulad po ng aking personal na gamit na projector, na nandyan lang sa drawer at hindi ko na iuwi dahil hindi naman po inaasahan na darating po ulit itong ganitong panahon.
Itong lugar naman talaga dito ay binabaha. Nangyari ito noong panahon ng Undoy, pero mukhang itong bagyong Karina, ito yung pinakamatindi dahil yung current ng tubig ay tuloy-tuloy at umabot talaga hanggang sa kalahati ng second floor. Yung total devastation talaga ng mga ilang facilities.
School personnel in Sergio Osmeña Senior High School are also trying to save as much learning kits as they can. The school, along with other affected learning institutions, have no choice but to postpone class opening to August 5.
Dapat ang school is, of course, conducive and safe for our children. We want to make it sure na pagbalik ng mga bata, they are welcome and they are safe when they go to school.
This is also the case for several schools in Marikina. Marikina City Mayor Marcy Teodoro said many public schools in the city still serve as evacuation centers while clearing operations are underway. And so postponing the start of classes will ensure the safety of students, parents, and school personnel. Meanwhile, for DepEd Secretary Sani Angara, postponing the school opening across the country will do more harm than good. He said for now, typhoon-affected schools are being given discretion to start classes late.
Well, as a general rule, gusto natin makabalik talaga sa July 29, no? Pero talaga, yung iba hindi talaga kakayanin. Kaya may datos tayo na isa tayo sa pinakamaraming missed school days sa buong mundo. So kaya gusto man ng iba na i-postpone talaga natin ng malawakan o wholesale yung postponement natin. We cannot do it because alam natin, what if next week may tumama na namang typhoon, di ba? Pinospone natin. So yung may kaya, sana pumasok na sila because the learning loss is very real.
According to DepEd, the most badly hit schools are in NCR, Calabarzon, and Central Luzon. These schools may be able to access DepEd's Rehabilitation Fund to get their facilities fixed. Based on DepEd's record, some 18 million students have enrolled for school year 2024 to 2025. For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
18 million students, 738 class postponements. Here's another sobering figure. 630 million pesos is the estimated amount that's going to cost the country to rebuild some of these damaged schools.
You know what's more sobering than that figure is that we cannot quantify, all the learnings that will not be happening while
The
all
learning
repairs-
losses, that's
Yes.
right. And that's actually why DepEd Secretary Sonny Angara is worried about rather, he doesn't want to do a blanket postponement of classes all across the school, all across the country, because he's already very aware of the fact that there's been huge learning loss last year. He pointed out the fact that 53 days, I think, is
Out
the
of a
number of days.
180-day school year. So that's certainly
That's a big chunk.
number.
It's
of lives.
almost
We lost
1/4.
53 days. Or, I mean, students lost 53 days of in-class learning.
However,
last year.
we also have to consider that even though, let's say, this particular school is not affected, maybe some of the students are, like in
Yes.
terms of their houses and their residences. So it's also really hard to say. But personally, I do see the wisdom of Secretary Sonny's decision. Why do we all have to start and stop at the same time?
But in an ambush interview, actually, PBBM said, or his directive to the DepEd was to do everything to proceed with the opening of classes. So we'll see if that's even possible, right? To do everything to still proceed with the opening on Monday.
Probably not for all schools, especially the ones in the worst hit
affected
areas. But if they do postpone, what we're hearing is that it'll be just in, over a span of few days.
So just to give
hopefully-
time for cleanup and repairs.
246 schools, actually, as of last count, were flooded. That number may very well go up, as is the 630 million peso figure estimated damage that I just cited. That number is expected to go up. 64 schools are currently being used as evacuation centers as well, and that's why this has disrupted again. In
school year,
classroom
yeah.
learning in the school year, the start of the school year across a wide swath of the country.
All right, just again, put into context that figure that last year the students missed 53 school days.
Out of 180.
Out of 180 due to weather-related events.
Almost 1/3.
Right, so it's either extreme heat or torrential rains and floods.
Or in flooding, that's right. And hence the directive is to try to mitigate the disruption as much as possible. And also find a solution to the perennial flooding. That's what President Marcos said after he saw for himself the magnitude of devastation from the combined effects of Super Typhoon Karina and the enhanced southwest monsoon. Today he did a series of situation briefings with local officials, as well as did an aerial inspection. His first stop was Mauban in Quezon, where he said that something must be done about the floods before even bigger calamities strike, and especially with La Nina just around the corner. After Quezon, Marcos held another situation briefing in San Mateo, Rizal, with local officials, and of particular concern were about 3,000 families in Santa Ynez, Tanay, now trapped in their homes without food and other provisions. DSWD says some 500 boxes of family food packs have already been airlifted by the Philippine Army's 80th Infantry Battalion to Barangay Santa Ynez today. Still, raging floodwaters are preventing rescuers from entering the town.
These people haven't eaten for 3 days.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I'll call up DND rin, AFP, baka pwede mga helicopters for the meantime, airlift. Yes, sir.
Hanap tayo ng
Airlift.
paraan.
Yes, sir.
Kailangan magparating tayo ng pagkain doon.
Yes, sir.
Ay, pagkain, tubig.
Pledges of assistance from the international community is starting to trickle in, among them from the United States. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken extended condolences to the Philippines in a phone call with Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo. Blinken said America is ready to provide assistance to people displaced by the flooding.
After Typhoon Karina, the Weather Bureau is now monitoring a new low-pressure area spotted east of Mindanao. Pag-asa said that while it is unlikely, they are not ruling out the possibility that this LPA might develop into a tropical cyclone this weekend. For now, it's expected to bring cloudy skies to the eastern portion of Visayas and Mindanao. As for the western portion of the country, including Ilocos, Bataan, Zambales, and the Cordilleras, expect moderate to heavy rain this weekend, courtesy of the southwest monsoon or habagat. Take note that this could trigger possible flash floods and landslides. Meanwhile, for Tarlac, Pampanga, Metro Manila, and the rest of Luzon, expect scattered rain showers and thunderstorms.
Now, the siphoning of oil from the sunken tanker MT Terra Nova has begun, and the Coast Guard says there has been no leakage so far from the more than 1 million liters of industrial fuel that it was carrying. Still, that means fishermen in the area are not able to go out to sea and make a livelihood while the cleanup is ongoing. Regina Lay with the big story.
This morning, members of the Philippine Coast Guard departed for the sunken MV Terra Nova. It is located about 7 kilometers off the east of Limay. According to the PCG, there has been no leak from the 1.4 million liters of industrial oil on board the Terra Nova. Only the ship's fuel is spreading in the water.
Kinolekta po natin yung mga emulsified oil. No? And ang ibig sabihin lang nun, wala pang tumatagas from the tank itself. So we're racing against time na ma-siphon natin yung langis para ma-avoid natin yung environmental catastrophe.
Experts estimate that the siphoning of the million liters of oil will take 1 week.
So kanina, napag-aralan din namin yung trajectory ng langis kung sakaling ito'y tatagas. So nag-mobilize tayo, may 3 barko na doon sa area. May mga dala silang mga tauhan plus mga oil spill boom.
The Coast Guard has confirmed that 16 rescued crew members have returned to their families. Meanwhile, the remains of the deceased second-class officer are being handled at a funeral home in Manila. The shipping line that owns the vessel is now also coordinating with the crew's families and local governments. However, residents of nearby towns are now reeling from the effects of the tanker sinking. One of them is Tatay Guillermo, who can't go out to fish.
Walang buhay pag hindi makapalaot. Kaya nga, ganda talaga sa rumaaksyon agad dyan yung tumawag na barko dyan. Basta mawala yung oil spill.
According to the local government, they have declared a fishing ban in barangays Lamao and Alangan. The problem, however, is that over 3,000 residents depend on fishing for their livelihood.
Especially po dun sa area, since naman po masama ang weather, talaga naman pong pinagbabawal naman muna pong lumaot or mag-fish po. But kahapon po, particularly po dun sa area and sa barangay po na yun, talagang pinastop na po namin.
The LGU has announced that assistance is being prepared for the affected fishermen. For News 5, Regina Lay, we are One News.
We're going to pause for a quick break. Right after that, Makati Mayor Abby Binay orders the takedown of a street sign that has gone viral. The details when we return. Keep it here.
You're still watching the big story here on One News.
Former Senator Sonny Trillanes says Senator Bato de la Rosa and 4 other former ranking PNP officials have been tagged as suspects in the ICC investigation into the Duterte administration's war on drugs. But Senator Bato himself was seemingly unbothered by all of this. Camille Simonte has the details.
The Office of the Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has tagged as suspects former National Police Chief and now Senator Bato de la Rosa, along with 4 other retired and current police officers. This is with regards to their alleged involvement in the deaths of thousands of people in former President Rodrigo Duterte's drug war. That information came from former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. Trillanes insists that these alleged suspects are key to implicating Duterte.
Si General Karamat, ito yung sa Bulacan, ito yung may pinatay na 31 in a day. Talagang, publicly pinuri siya, praise siya ni Duterte at eventually na-promote din siya accordingly. Critical evidence yan dito sa Crimes Against Humanity. Ito naman si Leonardo, ito yung paymaster na sinasabi ng mga testigo na bawat ulo, bawat pinapatay on the ground, may kapalit na pera. So ang isang nagpapacilitate, itong si General Mata. General Mata yan yung nagko-coordinate.
But Senator De La Rosa himself was not surprised being tagged by the ICC. He said the repeated accusations against him since 2016 are like a broken record. However, Trillanes fired back, saying Bato should stop playing dumb.
Hindi niyo naman pwede ikaila na hindi niya to ginawa kasi saksing buhay yung buong Pilipinas dito yung mga panahon na yun.
It was in 2019 when the Philippines withdrew from the ICC under former President Duterte. President Bongbong Marcos has likewise asserted that the ICC still has no jurisdiction in the country. However, Trillanes believes Mata and Leonardo, who are both still active in the PNP and NAPOLCOM, should be suspended first. As of now, the Foreign Affairs Department has yet to confirm if the Philippine Embassy in The Hague has received any document from the ICC. The Justice Department has also refused to comment. The ICC has also refused to comment on the matter. It said it does not provide comment on any statements made by governments or other state representatives and is unable to verify or authenticate any documents shared by outside sources. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
Makati Mayor Abby Binay did not mince words over the now viral street sign that changed the iconic Hill Puyat Avenue into Hill Tulog Avenue. In a statement posted on Facebook, Mayor Binay found it unfortunate that the advertising campaign was even allowed. She said, "Kung dumaan sa akin yan, rejected yan agad." The mayor went on to say that the city officials who issued the permit should have exercised prudence, noting the confusion that the sign caused motorists. She also called the decision to issue a permit a glaring oversight and apologized to the family of the late Senate President Hill Puyat for it. In the end, she had the Hill Tulog sign immediately taken down and reprimanded city officials that allowed the name change for a marketing campaign.
I also just read on Rap
issued a handwritten letter.
Not just a handwritten letter, but they've actually filed a complaint with the Ad Standards Council.
The ASC.
They are not naming who the ad agency was that made the campaign, but still they filed a formal letter. A formal complaint.
So I'm not sure if this falls under that, but I'm just wondering whether the ASC or the Ad Standards Council should have known about the campaign before it was rolled out, because normally I know they're very, very strict with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think.
I mean, it seems like it fell through.
There's a rule that says they have to oversee all of the, campaigns that go out. But certainly they are in a position to adjudicate. So we'll see what they say about this one.
I think that's a good precedent because there's so many ways to execute marketing campaigns now, and sometimes they're so convincing, it's really confusing. Remember the ball in Mall of Asia, the globe? And we thought someone had stolen it.
Oh yeah,
I really thought someone had stolen it.
That was harmless though.
It was.
Because I guess it didn't impinge on any name.
Yes.
Or any cultural, historical figure.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right, ladies, here's something we've all been waiting for. We are down to the last few hours before the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games Paris 2024. So that will finally kick off tonight, and the red carpet will begin. Yes, so the opening ceremonies will start actually at 1:25 a.m. Philippine time.
For those who are staying up to watch it, ouch. That's such an odd hour.
Puyat is a buzzword right now. Yun ang mangyayari sa atin tonight because papanoorin natin at 1:25.
I want to make a joke, but I might get complained at the Ad Standards Council. But okay.
But you know what's interesting about the opening ceremonies? It's the first time that it won't be conducted inside like a stadium or an arena. So the athletes will be parading actually on boats on the Seine River. So imagine how iconic that is.
Wow. It's a fluvial parade.
Hey, they cleaned up the river just for the Olympics.
Right, and they're going to have a swimming competition there as well.
So tuloy na yung swimming competition.
So the mayor even swam in there to prove that.
I don't know, sorry. That's a Seine. It's been bacteria infested for years.
It is.
But okay.
Okay, so and speaking of the Olympics, the competition has already started, but for our Filipino athletes, our first Olympian who will be competing is none other than the golden boy, Carlos Yulo. Now, before the opening ceremony of the Olympics, Yulo inspected the Bercy Arena in Paris, France, where he will be competing. Kaloy spent 2 hours trying out various apparatus and was joined by other competitors in men's gymnastics.
Nakaka-overwhelm kasi sobrang laki po. Sa training po kasi nasa baba ng lahat, tapos may extra bounce kasi sa floor especially kapag nakaangat po siya. Yung mga ilaw, ayun talaga yung pinaka-na-adjust ko po kasi masahilan po ako sa sobrang liwanag po.
Meanwhile, also in the final phase of her training is Pinay fencer Sam Katantan, who went to Luxembourg to spar with taller fencers. Katantan, who will begin her Olympic journey this Sunday, admitted that she struggled with the speed of her opponents at first. However, she was able to make the necessary adjustments and learn from her opponents.
I think the second match po, I was able to fence more confident. Talagang mas alam ko na po kung saan papasok kasi nga nakalaro ko siya. I had time naman po to adjust. And I think I have enough confidence din po to fence.
Now, going back to the opening ceremonies, world-class fashion designer Francis Libiran revealed the outfits that Filipino athletes will be wearing for the Olympic parade. The design features the sinag barong, which has armor-like elements and the colors of the Philippine flag. Inspired by the tattoos of the Pintados tribe and the rays of the sun, the design is a tribute to Filipino culture. Para sa mga kababayan natin na nahaharap sa iba't ibang hamon sa buhay, ang laban ng atletang Pilipino ay para po sa inyo. So we know they're really all fighting, especially during times like these. It also motivates our athletes to do better, to do their best in the Olympics.
And this year is extra special because as the bumper that we've been running every time there's an Olympic segment
Centennial,
goes,
yes.
it is 100 years since he started fielding athletes, so it has extra special meaning this year.
100 years, and it's the biggest contingent, the Olympics, right after we won our very, very first gold medal.
Yes.
So super exciting. I think we finally have hope that we can do it again and maybe win at least another one.
I have a feeling it's going to be another woman bringing
I
home.
can't say I disagree with
I'm
that.
just saying. I have a feeling there's been a good streak of women, or female
sports,
athletes
yes.
in sports.
A year ago, the Filipino women's football team won in the World Cup, won a game in the World Cup.
That's right.
Filipinos have been
I remember
making
this.
waves in
right,
sports.
in various international competitions, and they've really started to make their mark internationally. Not just
look at our smiles.
Girl power.
Girl power.
Sorry, girl power. There's no male voice here to counter us.
Speaking of girl power, is there some sort of red carpet opening ceremonies that will start here at 11 p.m.
Yes,
Philippine
there
time?
will be. And rumored performers are Lady Gaga and Celine Dion. A torchbearer will also have Snoop Dogg. So that's interesting,
And then, Celine Dion also, she has gone public about her illness.
Yes,
and
that's why it'll be interesting to see her back in
stage.
action on stage performing to a massive crowd. So
I guess I know exactly what I'll be doing later
tonight.
But for now, we're going to have to pause for another quick break. Right after that, there is a new luxury property brand in town. Andy Regalado of Nest Seekers International will tell us all about it. When we return, keep it here.
welcome back. You are still watching The Big Story here on One News. Well, the Philippines has become one of the world's hottest luxury property market, at least according to some industry reports. In fact, as per the Knight Frank Wealth Report published in February, Manila overtook Dubai as the fastest appreciating luxury real estate market last year. And one brand that's looking to take advantage is Banyan Tree, a Singaporean hospitality company which recently announced it's setting up its first property here in Manila, or in Manila Bay to be precise. The development will have 3 towers of combined hotel and residential units. And joining us now to talk more about it is Andy Regalado. He's Nest Seekers International's Chief Marketing Officer and Regional Director for Asia. Nest Seekers is the exclusive appointed brokerage for this high-end development. Good evening, Andy. Thanks for coming all the way here to join us tonight.
Thank you for having me tonight.
I didn't read so much of the intro to give you a chance to talk us through the development and how far you've come along. So give us the bird's eye view of Banyan Tree, Manila Bay.
Sure. Banyan Tree, Manila Bay is located in a very dynamic area, very active. It's in the entertainment city, pretty much next to Okada. And we're 34 stories high, 25% done in construction. And we have about 200 38 units, hotel units, and each of the units has pool in it, which will be the first in the Philippines, and about 188 residential units and all luxury units. Some of them have gorgeous views of Manila Bay, which is kind of something that's not very common here in Manila, to have the views of Manila Bay.
Okay. Well, how many? Sorry. There's two figures you threw out: 238 and 188. Which
residential units, 188 residential units, and 238 hotel units.
Hotel units. Okay, got it.
Is that per tower?
No, actually,
For
we're
the
only
whole
on
3
phase
towers.
1.
Okay.
So phase 1 will have a mixed-use hotel and residential component, and 2 stories, which is the first and second floor luxury retail.
It's about 35% done. When do you expect to finish it?
25% done.
25%?
Yeah.
And when do you expect to finish it?
End of 2027 for the residential component, and the hotel component, which will be on the upper floors, will be mid-2028.
Okay. Some questions come to mind, Andy. First, why did you choose that location? That's not usually where ultra high-end, very, very luxury residences are located. Usually it would be Makati, where I think some of the most expensive units are located, and some would be in Bonifacio Global City. There are a lot of condo units or condominium buildings there in the Bay Area, but why pick that area?
Yeah, we get asked a lot about that, and I think first is its proximity to the entertainment city, which definitely attract the high-end market as well. Second, its proximity to major transportation hubs, which is good for foreign investors traveling in and out of the country. Third is also the breathtaking views of Manila Bay. So not a lot of condominium units, especially in the ultra luxury level, would be able to offer that kind of breathtaking views.
Okay. Second comment is, are you sure those views will be maintained? Because if someone puts money down for that view and then they reclaim more of the bay behind the building, then you would lose the view.
Well, from what I've heard, in front of Okada and in front of our project, it's actually 90 meters deep. It's the deepest part of Manila Bay, so it'd be very expensive and will take a lot of sand to actually reclaim the land. So,
all right, Andy, when we talk about ultra luxury properties, usually these are like in the millions of pesos, even dollars.
Maybe even close to $1 billion now.
It's okay.
Ask it,
Pauline.
Ask it,
We want to know.
Can you give us a price range or how much these properties would cost?
right. Right now, we're looking at 750,000 per square meters to about 850. But that was
this
our.
Is pesos.
Sorry?
Yes,
Yeah, but that was
750,000
the pre-launch price, because we just launched the project last month, actually, in Okada, June 25th. And basically, the price ranges about, I'm going to say it in dollars.
Okay,
sure. About 2.20 million USD to about 18 to $20 million for the penthouses.
What is the smallest cut?
You mean the dimensions?
Right.
It's 143 square meters, and the biggest one is 950.
Okay, so at the bottom end, 143 square meters times the
950.
at the bottom of the ceiling of your price. That's 107 million pesos just for the smallest unit at the Banyan Tree Manila Bay. Are there people buying at these prices?
Well, just to say that our penthouse is almost gone. We have about 7 penthouses, and there's only 1 left.
The 7 penthouses, I did the math. They cost like 900 plus million.
Yes, they're about between $15 to $20 million.
Oh my goodness. And how big are they?
They're about ranging from 850 to 950
and they're
square
bi-level,
meters.
right?
Some of them are bi-level, some of them are just 1 floor, but really, big square footage, big areas.
So now you have to tell us, who is buying?
Right, a lot of foreigners, foreign investors, a few locals, but right now most of our buyers are from outside the Philippines.
That's interesting. And So I know you laid down three things in terms of value proposition, which is proximity to the airport, the view of Manila Bay. Sorry, what was the third thing?
Entertainment city.
Entertainment city. Still, we're talking, those prices are comparable to New York prices where you live, for instance,
York,
right?
Hamptons,
So if I have that much money, why would I put down that much for a property in the Philippines as opposed to buying a townhouse in the Upper East Side, for instance?
Well,
like, what's the rationale there? Who are you targeting specifically?
There's a lot of things to consider. First is the brand name, the prestige. Banyan Tree is known for its luxury, for its commitment to sustainability, commitment to providing a holistic approach to fine living. And Banyan Tree actually has a stronghold in Asia, in Middle East, and part of Mexico. So it's one of the global top luxury brands in terms of resorts and residential properties. So that's another thing that you're buying into. But a lot of people think that it's just simple as buying a house. But for us, it's really buying into a lifestyle. And at Banyan Tree, we just not offer someone a unit, but we offer them an experience.
I'm actually quite familiar with Banyan Tree because I lived in Singapore for a long time. And I think it was Shawn who pointed this out. The banyan trees elsewhere, for instance, in Singapore or in Bali, are a lot smaller. They're more boutique-ish, more intimate, right? This one looks to be a massive complex. Why is that? Why did you change the
aesthetic?
Not the aesthetic. The aesthetic looks the same, but this is a much more, much bigger complex, right? It feels almost like a mini township. It's got the hotel residences side, it's got its own amenities and so on and so forth. Whereas the banyan tree that I know in other countries is fairly boutique-ish, right? So what's the logic? What's the rationale there?
Well, I think a lot of the trends right now, even in Miami, in New York, is trying to create a community rather than just a building. And this, as I mentioned before, will have a retail aspect and, of course, the hotel aspect or element of the project. And just to go back to the value proposition, I forget that also Philippines has been enjoying a really robust economy. And in fact, Philippines was named #2 in the emerging top markets in December of 2023. And as you mentioned earlier, being one of the hottest market in luxury real estate, even overtaken New York.
I also read a report from Business World from the past recent weeks saying that this is just the first project and you actually have a pipeline of projects that include resorts in some islands, I believe 2 different island resorts, etc. Is the reason why you're choosing to locate to the Philippines because Banyan Tree as a group likes to focus on Asia? Is it that and to increase your footprint here? Or are you seeing something that perhaps a lot of Filipinos who are just starting to recover from the typhoon and the high inflation not seeing?
Well, we do have a lot in the pipeline. And what's interesting about Banyan Tree is not only that it builds luxury properties, but it's active in community engagement. It supports the community by giving them jobs as well. And also, there's what we call the Banyan Tree Gallery, which sells local products as well, coming from local artists. So basically, that's what Banyan Tree is all about as well. And I also want to point out that if you go to any Banyan Tree resort or hotel, none of any Banyan Tree looks alike. Because one of the commitment for Banyan Tree is cultural integration. So if you look at their architecture, interior and exterior, it adapts to the local culture and heritage. So it makes it really interesting.
So going back to Regia's question, is that why Banyan Tree Manila Bay looks like that? I mean, it is in the entertainment city, so it's got to be, glitzy and very like urban looking, very modern, very... I'm running out of adjectives, but you know what I mean. Is that why it looks a bit different from the other banyan trees in other Asian cities?
Right. If you look closely, there's that weaving pattern that's very evident on the exterior part of the building. So we took this inspiration from different intricate weaving patterns of different tribes in the Philippines, which also symbolizes Filipino unity. Because of calamities and anything that happens to us, we're always united in the end. So for us, that design is also very symbolic. And all the other banyan tree that we're going to be opening in the next few years will also have a different design.
So it's resilience inspired.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that you were touting the proximity to Entertainment City as a value proposition, do I take it to mean that a core target market would be those who are interested in gaming?
High rollers?
That's one of our target market, but we are also targeting people from business community because that area is also growing and there's a lot of commercial buildings being built as well.
There are, but
new
not many
developments.
ultra luxury developments. You're probably the only one aside
Right.
from the Conrad, and it's still quite a bit of a disparity.
Yeah, and I think we would like to be the pioneer for that. And also, we hope to pave the way for other luxury brands to come to the Philippines as well.
Andy, of course, Manila is known to have one of the most dense populations in the world. There is also the issue of traffic, really bad traffic here in Manila. Isn't that a turnoff or,
Well, like any other cities in the world, there's always a problem with traffic and everything. And I think with this location, we have that skyway and it also connects you to the airport. And a lot of, I was just watching or looking online about, the development of infrastructure. And I think it looks very promising for the Philippines to become not only a tourist destination, but an investment destination as well.
Okay, I have a question. When Regina and I were talking about this project and how big and really impressive it looks, very shiny, very gold, I was thinking it's on a reclamation area, and it's quite near Okada. Have there been any concerns about height, weight, any such limitations like that, safety in general?
Right. Well, for that area, you cannot build more than, I think, 34 or 35 story size simply because of, I think it's near the airport as well. But rest assured, that area where we are is not on a flight path. But there are certain restrictions in that area, actually. But like I said, there's no airport noise from what I've experienced from being there a lot.
You said your penthouses, all 7 of them, are almost gone.
Except one.
Except for the one. You could still...
That's still currently being reserved.
We could still buy it if we wanted. No, we couldn't. But how's the take-up for the rest of the building?
Yes, we've been getting, it differs. Some of our units on the upper floors are also getting quite a lot of interest as well. And we're going to be starting to market this in different key cities around the world where nest seekers are all located. We're going to start that after the summer in the Western Hemisphere because, September comes, October comes, that's when everybody comes home and start doing real estate again.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's interesting. So when you market, you're talking about global marketing.
Yes.
You're not just talking about marketing to a local audience, and hence the strong interest that you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
And going back to the price that you quoted, Pauline, those are pre-selling prices, right?
Yes.
By how much do you expect these prices to appreciate, and also are the buyers looking to really live there or at least have it as their second home, their Philippine home, or are they looking at it more from an investment perspective?
Currently, we kind of have them as kind of a mixed bag, but definitely a lot more people who want to just invest. There's a few who wants to retire there as well.
And do you have any idea on how the price would appreciate once you finish it, once you top off?
Currently, at this moment, not, because we're almost still in the middle of the year, but maybe by next year and see what the current market situation is.
And 2027 is your target, at least for the first part, the first phase.
Residential, yeah.
For the residential, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we will keep a close eye on that, but have to leave that there for now. Andy Regalado, Nest Seekers International Chief Marketing Officer and Regional Director for Asia, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. Thanks for
Okay, another quick break for now. The Big Story will be returning with more. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You are still on the big story here on One News.
And now we're going to get the latest from Paris 2024. And joining us now to give us the latest updates, straight from Paris, France, we have with us one of our Paris 2024 correspondents, Denise Tan. Denise, bonjour. What do you have for us? Okay, so...
Hi, Denise. Can you hear us? She is,
There's a
seems
bit
to be
of a lag.
freezing. She does look like she's in an official venue, official media venue. I'm a bit worried that the signal there is not good because I'm sure a lot of journalists will be.
Oh yes, especially for the opening ceremonies, right? All the foreign media are gathered in one place in the IBC. They will be monitoring the respective delegations. But, you know, Denise is there monitoring the situation, and she'll hopefully tell us more about what to expect in the opening ceremonies. Denise, can you hear us? All right, I'm afraid we lost her connection.
But I was reading earlier that there seems to be some arson, suspected arson
That's
case.
right. I wanted to ask her about it, that there was a concerted effort to sabotage the games with arson, with arsonists targeting three, I don't know if it's railways or 3 trains, but that happened just this afternoon in Paris, and so that disrupted hundreds of passengers.
Okay, I believe we have Denise back on the line. Denise, can you hear us? What do you have for us, the latest on the Olympic opening ceremonies?
Hi, Shawn, Regina, and Bowie. We're all set and ready to go for the opening ceremonies of the Paralympics 2024. Where over 10,000 athletes competing in 32 sports will be vying, of course, an elusive gold medal. Now, you guys talked about it. There are a lot of securities all over. There are 45,000 police and paramilitary officers that are deployed, backed up by 10,000 soldiers as well as 20,000 private security guards to, of course, oversee the stretch of River Seine, where around 300,000 spectators will be able to see the opening ceremonies of the Olympics live.
Did the increase in security, was that pre-planned because of the Olympic opening ceremonies, or did they add some extra because of, we were talking about it, I don't know if you heard this, yes, the arson, suspected arson cases on the trains. Can you clarify that, Denise?
Pauline, just...
Oh, she's coming in a bit choppy. Denise, can you hear us still?
Okay, I think.
Yes, I can hear you now. Talking about security, yes, it did ramp up. We heard several announcements in the train station just 30 minutes, an hour ago, saying that they are closing more metro lines because of those incidents. But prior to that incident, you see security all around the metro, all around Paris, as far as an hour away from the city center, from the Eiffel Tower. And there are certain metros, I believe it's 2 stops from the Eiffel Tower train station and 2 stops after it. It's already closed as well.
Okay, so how's the mood there? Is everyone excited? Your signal is coming in a little bit choppy. What's going on there? I mean, it is about to open in just a few hours.
Shawn, couldn't quite catch everything you said, but talking about the mood, everyone is, of course, very excited to have the opportunity to represent the flag, have the opportunity to bring back glory and pride to the Philippines, especially now because we know we are monitoring everybody here, just the signal team as well as the athletes. They know what's happening, that extending their sport, they're extending their concern as well. And yung laban nila is definitely
Denise, you're coming in and out. I'm not sure if we're on a cell phone issue here or a signal issue, but it seems we have lost.
That's a challenge with covering live events. Now, there's so much to talk about, but at the end of the day, signal is going to be your biggest problem because
I always imagine everyone's, nag-aagawan ng
sa may
signals.
media center, and we know from the producers that yes, there's a lot of people using the signal there. And I don't know what the setup there is like, but it could be one of those where there's only limited bandwidth and everyone has to share whatever's available. But when Pauline was talking to her, I just thought, how cool. She was describing all these landmarks that everyone knows. There's the Paris, with the Eiffel Tower behind me, blah, blah, blah.
But also,
and it's so interesting.
We also have so many videos of like the gendarmes, the police, the French police, and also some video that looks like it's not the best weather for summer.
It isn't.
What is going on in
But
Paris?
you know how European weather can be quite erratic as well, right? Even in summer. We don't know if this was taken today, but still.
But they did say that temperatures would reach record high in Paris for this Olympics. So they say it's going to get quite hot. But I guess that would work to our advantage as Filipinos, because we're used to the heat.
The athletes would be used to it.
Western countries, they would be uncomfortable with the heat, right? But hopefully.
And again, opening ceremonies will kick off 1:25 a.m. our time, although the red carpet will begin at 11 p.m. So that's just 2 hours away. You might as well stay up for that. We were just saying that Snoop Dogg will be
and Celine Dion,
Lady Gaga.
But also, it will be aired on One Sports, on YouTube and Facebook of One Sports.
Live.
And Pilipinas Live. Let's not
Pilipinas
forget.
Live.
That's where you can watch it. Pilipinas Live for everyone watching, and One Sports as well.
Yeah. Okay, so much excitement. It gives us enough time to rush home and get into our pajamas as we watch athletes getting ready to compete.
Happy birthday to you, Shawn.
Thank you.
That's right.
Celebration.
The last time I shared a birthday with the Olympic opening was Barcelona 1992. I was 10 years old.
Okay, there you go.
Do not give away your age. We've started deducting, right?
Okay, before we go, we have one more surprise.
This is happy
birthday to you.
Okay, I'm going to share this
live
cake,
on air. Yes.
Our
dear
now
Shawn
we have is celebrating her second birthday with the Olympic opening ceremony.
Yes. Happy birthday,
Happy
Shawn.
birthday, and happy birthday to the Olympic opening ceremonies, which we are going to rush to catch, and of course have a bite of cake before that.
Why did you fan it? Just blow it out.
Because I'm going to share it with everyone.
No, just blow it out. Make a wish. Blow it out.
I did make a wish.
And the wish
I'm not going to
is
tell you what.
a gold. One gold at least.
At least one
at
gold.
this year's Olympics.
Yes,
maybe.
and at least one from a female athlete. And that is my birthday wish. I have raised it up to the heavens.
Yes.
That's it for the big story for the week.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night and a great weekend.